It's June 11th. Today's reading occurs around 870 to 860 BC. Jehoshaphat has succeeded his father Asa as king of Judah, while Israel is now being ruled by the evil king Ahab and his equally evil queen Jezebel. Jehoshaphat is a faithful king, leading Judah in the true worship of God, while Israel is now steeped in depravity. God has gone to extreme measures to get the attention of Israel. Drought gets everyone's attention. It can't be ignored or disregarded. If you've been to the region, you know how valuable water is there. And so a drought that extends 3 years would alter life in about every way imaginable. King Ahab blamed the drought on Elijah and put a bounty on his head. And so Elijah is literally in hiding and running for his life. In the confrontation on Mount Carmel, Elijah oversees the greatest show and tell ever, the most definitive and demonstrative taste test in recorded history. If Yahweh is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, then follow him. And what a result. God literally sends fire down from heaven to settle the issue. And so the people, the officials, and King Ahab are left without excuse. The result is so decisive that the people watching disobey King Ahab and seize his prophets of Baal and kill them. God's authority and power are demonstrated in an unmistakable way, and the drought is lifted. One would think that upon hearing of Jezebel's threat to kill him, Elijah would have laughed. Anyone seeing God's victorious demonstration at Mount Carmel would have gasped to hear threats against God or his anointed prophet. You would think Elijah's response might have been, "Oh yeah, bring it on, Jezebel, just try it. Watch and see what my God will do." He could have confronted her and her filthy, detestable religion. Jezebel had misread the political situation. The crowd had just killed her prophets. The tide had turned. But sadly, that wasn't Elijah's reaction. Instead, he ran in fear. Where Elijah's actions on Mount Carmel were almost superhuman, the stuff of legend, his reaction to Jezebel's threat was downright cowardly. Instead of rallying the people against Jezebel, he isolated himself. He hid, escaping hundreds of miles into the desert, and he asked God to take his life. Hiding before had been God's idea, protection for him while the drought took effect, and now hiding was his own idea, motivated solely by fear. How can the same man that faced down the king and 850 false prophets on Mount Carmel cower in fear at the threat of one woman? Well, for the same reason that you and I today are afraid of things that shouldn't make us afraid, because he was human. And he wasn't seeing clearly with eyes of faith in his very powerful God. From today's reading, we see that the great and mighty prophet Elijah was also very average. A typical man with faults and fears like all of us. And today's reading is a reminder that God uses real people with real faults and real limitations. It's a reminder that whatever our station in life, whatever our calling, or our gifting, or our challenges, or our past successes, all of us must walk consistently, each and every day, in faith, in trust, and with all the resources God has given us. Here's today's application. Can you relate to Elijah? How many times in your life has a great spiritual victory been followed by a mistake or a failure? Well, you're not alone. Take courage in your God who understands your weaknesses and is always with you to help you, strengthen you, and encourage you toward greater faith. Now here's today's prayer.